A dog's bark led them to open a coffin, and the discovery inside will leave you stunned. Detective Ethan Carter's funeral took place on a dreary, rain-soaked afternoon, the kind that seemed to chill everyone to their core. His colleagues, friends, and family stood together in the cemetery, their hearts weighed down by sorrow. Among them was Midnight, his devoted Baraber 9 partner, who had stood by Ethan through every trial. The black German shepherd sat quietly by the casket, his ears flickering now and then, as if attuned to a sound only he could detect. Ethan had been a celebrated officer, renowned for his keen instincts and steadfast dedication to justice. His abrupt death during a brutal shootout with a dangerous gang had left a gaping wound in the police force. Midnight, injured in the same confrontation, had made a remarkable recovery. Now, he was here to say goodbye to the man who was more than just his handler. He was his closest companion. As the priest delivered solemn words of tribute, a sudden, piercing bark shattered the mournful silence. Midnight sprang to his feet, his fur standing on end as he let out a deep, throaty growl. His gaze was fixed on the casket, and he barked again, even louder. The crowd whispered in bewilderment. Midnight was a highly trained dog, disciplined to stay composed in the most chaotic scenarios, but now he appeared frantic, almost desperate. "Calm down, boy," an officer murmured, reaching for Midnight's collar. But Midnight pulled away, charging toward the casket and clawing at it with intensity. The police chief, a seasoned man with decades of experience, frowned. "Get that dog under control," he commanded. "This is no time for a scene." But Midnight refused to relent. His barking shifted to an urgent whimper, and he scratched furiously at the wooden surface, his nails gouging the polished finish. Ethan's mother, Margaret, gripped her chest. "What's wrong with him?" she asked, her voice quivering. Another officer, Sergeant Harris, shared a concerned look with his peers. "I don't know, but I've never seen Midnight like this." Whispers rippled through the gathering. Finally, Ethan's brother, James, took a deep breath and spoke. "Open it." The police chief's eyes widened. "James, I know you're grieving, but open it." James insisted, his tone resolute. "Something's wrong." The tension was thick. The chief exhaled heavily and nodded reluctantly. "All right, but brace yourselves. The injuries were severe. It won't be easy to look at." Two officers stepped forward, grasping the casket's lid and slowly prying it open. As they did, a collective gasp swept through the crowd. Margaret let out a piercing scream, staggering back and clutching her heart. James's face drained of color. Officers drew their weapons, their eyes widening in shock. The man inside the casket was not Ethan Carter. Midnight, now calm, sat down and gave a slight wag of his tail, as if content that his warning had been heeded. Pandemonium broke out. Officers rushed to secure the scene, while others radioed the precinct in a frenzy. The funeral was halted immediately, and the police chief ordered an urgent investigation. Within hours, unsettling details began to surface. On the night of the shootout, two critically injured officers had been taken to the hospital. One had died, and the other was placed in a medically induced coma. But in the chaos, their identities had been swapped. Overwhelmed hospital staff, stretched thin, had mistakenly pronounced Ethan dead, while his unconscious colleague, Officer Ryan Cole, was prepared for burial. Meanwhile, Ethan had been fighting for his life in a hospital bed, unaware that the world had already grieved for him. When officers raced to the hospital to verify the astonishing discovery, they found Ethan still in a coma, his body gradually healing from his wounds. The revelation sent shockwaves through the department. How had such a catastrophic error occurred? Who had neglected to properly identify the bodies? And most critically, How much time had been lost believing Ethan was gone? As the investigation deepened, Ethan, against all odds, awoke from his coma 2 weeks later. Though frail, he was heartbroken to learn of his colleague's death, but overwhelmed with gratitude for Midnight, who had somehow sensed the truth. After months of recovery, Ethan rejoined the force, with Midnight by his side, more inseparable than ever. The department overhauled its procedures to prevent such a mistake from recurring. For Ethan, though, the greatest lesson was undeniable. Sometimes, the bond between a man and his dog surpasses all reason. Had Midnight not sounded the alarm, Ethan might have been lost forever. As the sun dipped below the horizon at the cemetery, the air still heavy with shock and disbelief, one truth stood clear. Midnight had saved his partner once more. What began as a somber funeral had unraveled into a revelation no one could have foreseen. A dog's loyalty had pierced through a tragic error, proving that instinct and devotion can uncover truths even the sharpest minds miss. In the days that followed, Ethan Carter's return from the dead became a tale shared in every precinct, a sobering reminder of human fallibility. The department launched an internal review, and new protocols were established to prevent future misidentifications. The hospital staff, though remorseful, faced accountability for their errors. It was a stark lesson that in the chaos of emergencies, a single oversight could alter lives irrevocably. Yet amid the flurry of investigations, media attention, and administrative reforms, one constant remained: Midnight's unshakable faith in his partner. The moment Ethan could walk unaided, he knelt beside his loyal companion, running a hand through Midnight's thick black fur, whispering words of thanks that could never fully express what the dog had done. Midnight, as ever, simply wagged his tail, as if to say, "I knew you'd come back." Months later, Ethan resumed active duty, his bond with Midnight stronger than ever. Together, they continued their mission to serve and protect, their partnership now carrying a profound legacy, a testament that sometimes the greatest heroes walk on four legs. And that concludes this remarkable story. If this tale stirred you, if you felt the suspense, the heartache, and the triumph, please show your support for our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Your encouragement means everything to us and helps us share more gripping, heartfelt, and inspiring stories with you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Do you believe dogs possess an extraordinary sixth sense? Tell us your thoughts and personal stories. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.